Welcome back to Women Who Move, the podcast where we sit down with some really inspiring women who are redefining their industries, breaking the ceiling, showing us what is truly possible. Today's guest is someone who embodies ambition, resilience, and kind of has that go all in mindset that we talk about so much on the show. She's the CEO and business owner behind multiple Remax offices, leading a team of over 100 people, and has been recognised as Australia's most influential woman in property. But her story didn't start at the top, guys. It actually started at reception. So please welcome Hayley Van de Ven. Did I say that properly?
Yeah.
Yay! I love that I practiced that on the way in. I was
Did
like,
you?
I wanted it to flow.
Oh, it flowed.
It's a very pretty name. So I was like, I'm going to get this right.
I think it's like Vanderpump Rules, like Lisa Vanderpump.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I could see you
Feel like
giving
that's the
Vanderpump vibes at the moment.
Yeah.
Is that?
No, but thank you for having me.
I guess I want to start from the start. From someone who has really looked at your journey and read a lot into it. And I've also heard you speak. You made me cry at I've been to a lot of these women events. You had me blubbering at the back of this bar in Broadbeach. So I'm really excited for you to share some of that. But you moved to Australia when you were 17. You started in reception. And within 18 months, you were basically selling homes. Can you take us back to that moment? And I guess what did you see in real estate that made you think, this is for me, I'm going to have a go?
Yeah. Well, I'm actually an accidental real estate agent. My dream job was to become a police officer, and my husband now laughs and says I'd be a real mole of a cop, which would be super funny. But in saying that, I was going to have a gap year. So that was my intention, was to move here, spend a year travelling myself around Australia, go to London, hang out at the Walkabout, and then go back to New Zealand and get a real job.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with a boy. It's, like classic story, and decided that I was going to stay. So I became a receptionist, and I worked on the front desk of Ray White Bribie Island.
Yeah.
Very cute. And, this is back in the day when, a Rockman's dark brown suit with a large white lapel was very cool.
Yeah.
If you can just transport yourself back to that time.
Do you remember they've come back now, like you'd even have some of you'd have the air hostess kind of scarves, and now they come back with big flowers. I've seen you rock the flower. Like now we are coming back to that.
I know. I actually bought my first pair of flared jeans again a couple of weeks ago, and the first time I put them on, I felt like such an idiot. And then within 20 minutes, I was like, "These are back, baby." These are back.
It took me a while to get the barrel leg jean and the loose fitting jean, but I'm not going to hate the flares. I love that.
Now we're just leaning in, which is nice. But I literally took on that role. I went from being receptionist to a salesperson's PA within 6 months. I had my license by then, and was able to start going out and doing open for inspections and kind of getting in the groove of it. Who would have hired me as an 18-year-old salesperson? I have no idea. I certainly wouldn't have. But here we were. There were the giving and kind people of Bribie Island that gave me the shot. And then literally 10 years later, I found myself moving up to North Queensland as a salesperson up there as well. I was probably at the kind of tail end of my first marriage and saw that as a good opportunity to try and save my marriage to move up to North Queensland where my husband was. Yeah. Unfortunately, North Queensland's not typically where you go to save a marriage. It's
I was going to say, I feel like it'd be slightly more isolating.
But I didn't know anyone, so it was starting again and
starting fresh.
It was actually a great opportunity for me to realise that this is the most incredible job that you could ever possibly ask for. Doesn't matter where you do it, the skill set sits between your ears, and you have the opportunity to do this job anywhere.
I do. I love that you say that, because so many people look at it when you go and you do a degree and you can take that job anywhere. I kind of look at real estate as learning on the job training, and once you've done it for that long, it is like having a trade that you can pick up, and there's so many agents that are afraid to make that move, but it's some of the best things. I spent 3 years telling clients that was my first listing, or not first, but I was new in the industry. I love new agent energy.
Yes.
And I love that is the same as changing where you are. Change your location and you will have that new energy. That's probably puts you on to the next question, because you've said that one of your proudest moments was buying your own office. I so love that you're doing. There are so few female principals. There is pretty much, I think, a very small handful on the Gold Coast. It's getting bigger for you guys, but in Brisbane, it's definitely moving in the right direction to having more of them, but there's really not a lot. Like, you are out there, kind of out there on your own. Like, there's not a huge amount.
Especially when the businesses get bigger. It is definitely a lonely space.
Yeah.
Luckily, I can roll with the boys.
Yes.
But certainly from my perspective, I'd love to see more business owners that really leaned in, lots more women that, believed in themselves and gave it a crack, because I absolutely think if I can do it, anyone can do it. So from their perspective, I think often the glass ceiling that they have is that they're scared that if they lean in too hard or they build too big of a business that they're going to lose their family or their, the other aspects of their career that they may be holding on to, that they think that they can't do it all.
Yeah.
But it is really great, to be able to encourage more and more of them to lean in and to just do it. Like,
give it a go.
Yeah, just give it a go. Like, what was
that kind of, as I say, what that all or nothing decision, what helped you make that? Like, I'm going to go in, I'm going to buy in, I'm going to start from you, because you're starting from the bottom as a business owner versus a seasoned, experienced agent.
Yeah.
What gave you that kind of nudge?
So in 2016, I bought the business with a business partner, and very quickly realised that the business partner and I probably weren't the best alignment. So we exited that arrangement, but then I was absolutely on my own. And as somebody who had only sold real estate since I was 18, I didn't have like a university degree. I didn't have any experience in running a business. All I knew how to do was list and sell property. And that was a really great eye-opener. I actually spent 2 years right before I purchased the office working at corporate, and that was a great insight into some credible business owners. That's when I met Dane and some of the boys down the Gold Coast, where I would bring all of my clients down to them, and they would talk about like what made their Remax businesses great, how I always laugh and call Dane actually the biggest Remax in Australia, and he always like gracefully laughs back, but I'm like, babe,
you like no,
come on. Yeah. But in saying that, I always have so much admiration and respect for when people do, have a crack and they go hard and they build something really, really extraordinary. And obviously I love, him and Kim. So it's wonderful.
Did you hear her on the podcast?
No, I haven't yet.
She was on. She was so, I love her. She talked about basically balance is bullshit. She's like, this is not going to happen. She's like, you spend a little bit of time here when they need you. We spend more time here when they need you. And it's just like there's zero balance. There's nothing is ever, my business is worth more for me to just give 50%. My children are worth more than just giving 50%. She's like, so each layer, some will get 20 days, others will get 80 or 90. She's like, it is never
It's harmony.
balanced.
It's not balanced.
No.
And it's being able to lean in and lean out of the stuff that's most important. And I totally agree with her, especially as a mum.
Yeah.
And, I absolutely agree with you. But, today I've literally left my kids to go and get my hair done because I need my extensions to be moved up. And I'm like, cool, when I get back this morning, I need you to have had your breakfast. It's sitting on the blah, blah, blah. I'll be back in a second. Dad's just at the gym, and I'm like talking to them, and then, it's like, but then Dad's home and then he's dropping them off and then I'm back, and, so it's just, it is go, 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 go. And this afternoon, Dan's at a school thing. I will pick them up later this evening. Yeah. Like that's, it's just give and take around our commitments. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about having a business. You actually do, and just so do you. You know what I mean? Like you get to have the opportunity to create the life that we actually want to live.
I like that my children see it too. Like your children even see it. It's not something that I grew up seeing. Like I've got a really strong mother who's very, opinionated, strong, and we grew up in that house where she was definitely a boss.
Yeah.
But never. I love that my daughters meet business owners and understand that there's give and takes, and it is. Yeah. I love like what you're building for your children to know that anything is possible. They'll see you at their hardest. I think our children get more of us emotionally.
Absolutely.
And see a lot more. And even though we're probably not resilient, my child will probably eat avocado and toast. And I've been known to be like,
avocado on toast?
Oh no! You can't have avocado. Save. I said to my husband, there'll be zero resilience, but emotionally, I think they'll be emotionally mature. And speaking of dads. One of the things I read was it was your dad that you went to when you made that big decision to go out on your own. And it says here that your dad basically said, what's the worst that can happen? And that kind of reframed everything for you and your headspace. Do you still use that mindset today when you're stepping into, like obviously your goals at the time, like it was a big them, but now the goals and like you've opened multiple offices. Does that still run through your head?
Yeah, absolutely it does. And it was actually my third and fourth office in 2021 where I rang my dad, and because we were buying like 600 rentals, and so, you know, like $3 million, that you're like, holy shit, I've never been in that much debt before.
Having to explain to listeners too, like buying a rent roll and buying into a business, it is most business owners I speak to, they're remortgaging their houses. It is not a cheap, like the sales part, very easy, got that, run that. There's not a huge resale out there to the rent roll where, you can very easily come undone. And
100%. Yeah. And so I already had Morningside and Mackay by that time. And so buying Alex Hills in Cleveland along with the, the 600 rentals, that was a big move for me because I actually had never had that much debt before. And, you know, I'd built the business back up at Morningside, so I didn't have any debt on that business. So it was really scary for me to be putting myself in that position. And that's when I rang my dad and said, I don't know if I can do this. Like, this is a lot of money. I'm really scared. I'd lost my mum like 2 years before that, so I didn't have my mum to be like, Mum, reassure me, everything's going to be fine. I'm coming. And my dad literally, he was so funny, and he's a farmer, so he's really matter of fact, and he was just like, well,
straight shooter.
Yeah, like literally, like, what would be the worst thing that could happen? And I was like, I'd lose everything. And he's like, well, if you lost everything, what would you do? And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, what job would you do? And I was like, oh, I'd sell real estate.
He's like, start again.
Well, do you know how to do that? And I'm like, yes. And then, and he was really funny, like how he broke me down. I was like, mate, this is like overcoming objections 101. You just smashed me. Like, and he didn't even know, and then he's like, yeah, but would you better feed yourself? And I'm like, yeah, well, you'd hope so. Yeah. And, like, I'm just answering the questions for myself. And then he's like, so what's the fucking problem? And I'm like,
yep. I love that.
Yeah, I know. And it's such a good frame of like reasoning to put on any difficult situation that you're like, what's the worst thing that could happen? If that happened, would I survive? Would I be okay? Would my family be together? Would I make it?
Would it be? I think as well as women, and I'm very jealous of men to be able to just go in, jump in, and it will be okay. Like, as a woman, when I jump in, I'm making big decisions. Yeah. I have to worry about every other person around me. I'm worrying about the new friends, the old friends, the family, the husband. Like, I put everyone else in that basket. When I've seen men go into business, it's like, I'm going to do it for me. I'm going to give it a. It's very much that American kind of, beating your chest, and we'll fake it till we make it. Women are not great at faking it.
No.
It's like,
no, they're not.
So it's, I just think it's a much bigger step from, the female business owners I surround myself with. It is a much scarier move for a woman that we do think of every worst case scenario.
And maybe girls also share that, or females share that, maybe, in our closest knit circles, we say, oh my God, I'm really shitting myself. I don't know if I could do this. Maybe guys feel that too. They just do it anyway.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I do want more women to share that fear as well. Like, sometimes I've got Penelope, obviously, so when I'm scared about something, I love running it by her. It's sometimes nice just to not be embarrassed by it. Like, I'm going to run this past you. Do not come, like, a group of women, I said this the other day, like, you be afraid of a really tight-knit girlfriends. And I always said this when someone asked me the question of you, going into business, like, what would you do, or what's advice you'd give? I'm like, get a really good girlfriend that keeps you accountable. Yeah. Get a really good group of, I tell my
tight circle.
Yeah, that just, it doesn't have to be in your industry.
Yep.
I did get told the other day, and guys will probably have to cut this, but I did get told the other day that my daughter is starting a gang, a kindy.
Yeah. Girl gang.
Girl gang.
Love that.
And it's a girl gang. And she said, I've invited Miss Ava into the girl gang. And I was really concerned at kindy pickup.
No, don't. I was
like, no, what do you mean? They're like, we don't really approve of gangs. I'm like, okay, like, I completely get it, but it's more like the Spice Girls. Like, it's really, we've got all the
tribe.
Yeah, it's a tribe, but we've just got girl gangs. So someone got kicked out, someone's been entered in. I had to have a chat that no one gets kicked out of a gang.
Yeah,
I was like,
they're in it for life.
Yeah, like
that's how it works.
She'll be having thugs for life by the time she leaves. But yeah, it's
she'll have that little tattoo across her hand. It'll be like, no, not here, doll. Oh, no, it's not that kind of gang.
Me running in here today and going, sorry guys, my child was bitten. Like, it's just one of those things that just, as women in business, we run through. Now, you do run some of the top and highest performing RE/MAX offices in the country, and the results are absolutely incredible. And I do know that one thing you always say is, I have an incredible team behind me. You have a great leadership team. You have a great team of sales agents, ones that you've either recruited or you've built up. Like, I love that you have that mix. What is it that has, I guess, made you so successful in leading a team with so many different layers of people? Do you think it's your discipline? Is it a certain mindset? What is it, do you think your people skills have kind of made you, like, that's like the people skills. I loved seeing the business breakdown. What makes you so good at that? and managing everyone's expectations as well.
Thank you. Look, I think there's a lot of things. I think something that I'm super passionate about is, it sounds funny, but like game recognizes game, right? So when you identify, that something in somebody and you believe in them, often they just need the support and the resources, the training, and then they start to believe in it themselves. We've had many agents that have come across writing, like 300, and so they know what to do.
Yeah.
They know how to list and sell. Yeah. That's not the question.
Yeah.
But they don't know how to get it to the next level. And then, having somebody believe in them, having the systems, having the processes, but more than anything, just showing them how to, start thinking differently.
Yeah.
I think that's probably where my value as a business owner is. Because I am non-selling, I spend most of my time coaching, fixing problems for people seems funny, but, I think often it is just a mindset piece. And once they understand that they have the opportunity to build the most incredible business, it is leverage and, it's kind of following that blueprint of success, and then off they go. And it's one of the most incredible things I've ever been a part of, when you can see a $300,000 writer become a $600,000 writer, and then $1 million, and then $2 million, and then $3 million, and they're off.
You kind of identify where they could be stronger, and you kind of nurture them instead of I've heard some really beautiful stories of more lower, like a receptionist, or really being able to from what I've heard is that you get down to whatever level, high, low, medium, and you're able to speak to everyone in that business one-on-one. No one's afraid to. There's no one is afraid to come and talk to you about something. Like, I'm like, hey, this must be like a HR time frame nightmare. Like, because I read up about you. We've known each other through circles like for a long time, but because we had to move this back, I was able to ring around and ask a few people about you in between. So I got a whole so the questions I sent you, I have added some in now after that. But it was a really lovely thing to hear about you as a business owner, that really nice. Whether you are the Saturday receptionist or the top performing agent.
Holy shit, you have rung around about me.
I do.
Yeah. I love reception though. It's one of my favorite places to sit. Yeah. You can feel the pulse of the business. Yeah. Everyone that walks in, you can see how they are. Like, are they walking in and their eyes are down and they're feeling defeated and they've just got smashed on a listing? Or are they, you're giving
your tricks away. Other agent, like business owners are going to go, that's how. But you're at that front desk, you get everyone's first as they come in.
You see how they walk in. They're either walking in and they're on cloud 9, or they've had a tough day, or they're stressed, or they look tired, or their energy's low. And it gives you a good opportunity to like feel the pulse of the business. It's funny when I sit in the...
Do they come in and be like, oh?
Sometimes, especially when I'm in Cleveland, they're like, duh, what are you doing here? And I'm like, hey.
No business, but that's all right.
Yeah, but it's a great opportunity for me as a business owner to feel... like what's actually going on. The heartbeat. It is the heartbeat. And, I think that reception role can be incredibly undervalued by people. But the reality is they are the eyes and the ears of your business. And, I always word up the receptionists that, hey, look, if someone comes in and they're looking defeated, or they're looking really smashed, or they, whatever, just flick me a text and let me know so that I can check in with them. For us, it's very much a case of, I don't know, about 50 something like that, like I'm not always going to see every one of them every week, but if I'm able to catch them when they're having a tough day or when they do just need to pick me up, sometimes somebody will be going through something and they just will not want to share it. And, often I can just go and slide into their office and sit down with them and be like, hey, how are you? Yeah. And it all comes out. Yeah. And I think that having a people first culture is something that people say, but don't
always follow through.
Yeah, they don't always follow through, and it's like, but how important is that?
We have what is that? It's called the Director of First Impressions.
Yes,
is what there's no reception. It's not admin. It's our receptionist at our office has a business card with Director of First Impressions.
Love that.
I wanted to get it. I was like, can I be the Director of First? Like, I just liked how important it sounded, and
it sounds very fancy.
And and I love that because it was, you're the face of the business. You are the first thing we see, and I do love that. And even the coming in, one of the reasons I had Kim on the podcast is because that's who she is for me. Kim will come in and sit down with me sometimes. She's like,
your person.
How you going? And I'm like, not today. If I'm having a moment, I'll be like, it is that sometimes you just need someone to sit next to you and just feel like they're there. And that would mean the world to somebody.
And it's amazing what people do share, because had I have not asked, you know, and sometimes people will just come down and, like, I'll be sitting in the meeting room and, you know, someone will just come in and sit in front of me and start talking and, you know, like it would be easy to be like, hey, I actually don't really have time for this right now. But the reality is they're coming down and sitting because they need to talk to you.
Yeah.
They're not there for small chat. You know, like they're all very busy. They're all running high-performing businesses. You know, if they didn't need to chat, they wouldn't be doing that. And sometimes it's not even about work. It's just life stress.
Yeah.
You know, like I go on anniversary lunches with each of our it's probably why I'm like still 15 kilos overweight. I just can't quite commit to like the Ozempic needle. You know, I look at that and that's a great opportunity to like get to know the team on such a deeper level.
Yeah.
And the stuff that comes out, sometimes they're giving me advice. Like one of our property managers, it was her 4th anniversary last week, and she sat down and we were talking about how like my 11-year-old son, he lies to me all the time, and I'm like, why is he lying? Like, it's so
what
annoying.
Has happened overnight? Yeah. He's gone from my beautiful, like, you know, biggest number one fan, and now like he doesn't want to be seen.
My little blue-eyed boy has turned into like this little jerk that just looks me in the eye and lies. And I'm like, what is going on? She gave me some great advice. It worked. I tried it last night and it worked and it was amazing. And I was like, that's wonderful, Coop. See, Mum can trust you.
Oh.
And it was like,
thank you. And we do look, I always don't want to ask you this now, but we obviously talk about your successes and the things that make you great. Like, you know, I've rung around, but I am going to ask about your failures. I'm going to ask about your mistakes, because that is probably the underlying thing. Every time I have a woman on here, as great as her wins are, they always come from something. Like, I get excited whenever I make a big mistake, or Penelope and I have a problem in our business. I always say, there's something great's going to come from this.
Yes.
Out of every. So I do have to ask, what is just one, because I'm sure there would have been a lot. What's some of the biggest lessons that you've learnt along the way? Yeah. Maybe an aha moment that you can look back and go, like, you obviously wouldn't change anything because it leads you to where you are. But yeah, just give me something that was like, this was something that, you know, I wouldn't do again, or, you know, a big mistake, or something that you've changed trajectory even.
Honestly, I've failed more times than I've succeeded anyway.
You all say that. All these success women come in and say that.
I can tell you 1,000 failures.
Yeah.
Because I never forget them either.
Yeah.
And I think that's typical of women. We're so hard on ourselves. But I do genuinely and honestly think there's one standout, and it was when I first bought the business. I didn't have any financial education.
Yeah.
Because I had a whole career in sales, and like, I don't know if this is you too, it's kind of like a bit naughty, but like, you know, it's like, oh well, it's just, you know, nothing that 3 new sales can't fix.
Oh my God. That is, yes.
Yeah, we've all been there, right?
Because I was the same age when I got into real estate. So I was like, look at this money that just comes in, and then
unhealthy respect.
Yes.
Unhealthy respect, in the sense that you're like, oh cool, like I need a new kitchen. Oh cool, I'll just go have a bumper month, and then you know, I'll put in a new kitchen. But I think because I didn't have a formal financial education, I really had no idea about logging into Xero. I didn't know about like balancing the books. I didn't understand about tax. I didn't even know about payroll tax.
Yeah.
So in my first year of business, I got a very, very, very swift and painful education in that. You know, without going into too many details, when I took on the business from my business partner, not only was I completely unaware
of what was going in the background,
but I had absolutely no idea, but I got a very fucking big tax bill and a very rude shock.
Oh.
So, you know, I think that if I was really honest and if I was being completely transparent with you, that was the biggest failure that I've ever had in my business. And it was just like, I could have lost it all in that first year. Absolutely. And I had to make a really big decision.
That's probably one of the strongest parts.
Yeah, well, I spent, so I enrolled in what was then BDO Financial Education.
Yep.
And you're going to laugh because I did it for 4 years. And because I just wasn't listening the first 3 years, like I just wasn't implementing.
It wasn't sticking.
It just wasn't, you know, like I'd do my financial modules and I was just like, I'd show up and I'd do my like, you know, 1 day a month.
Yeah.
But I wasn't implementing.
Yeah.
And so even though I might have like then known my Xero password and been able to like log in.
You were a couple of steps in. Yeah.
I was like, I was half in. I was just dipping the toe, but I wasn't really, you know, moving the dial.
Yeah.
And then on the last year, I was like, holy shit, if I don't like double down and learn how to run a business,
this will have been,
I'm fucked.
Yeah.
Like it's call it. You know? So I'm sorry, I probably shouldn't swear.
No, but everyone does. Every single guest has.
Okay,
I think I even got the word shit out of Kim. So don't worry. It's fine. Yeah.
Babe, love her. But yeah, I think that's probably my most. Yeah, that's probably my most critical failure. But as you said, like from that came the fact that I really was hungry for that financial acumen. Yeah. Still wasn't great because I was still very transactional in my mentality. But I also then took, in 2020, just before COVID hit, I decided that it was like, okay, it's time to go big or go home. Like, I've got to get serious now.
Yeah.
Like,
And you haven't stopped.
But it's like that was time. So it was
Is there... I hope the answer's not the same, but the next question is, if you had to go back to that 18-year-old version of you at the reception desk, what would you tell her? What advice would you tell her? Obviously, check the books.
Check the books,
but
honestly, the advice that I would have, because I was pretty shit as an agent till I was about 24.
Yeah.
So like those first few years, I just fucked around. Like I'd say I was out doing an appraisal, but really I was sleeping because I had a hangover. Like shit
but
like
we're
that.
supposed to bounce back at that age. I remember being like, go hard, and then the next day up and ready. I couldn't do that now.
But I'm a nightmare for a sales associate when they're like, "Oh, I'm out door knocking." Really? Where are you? I'll come and do it with you. I've just ducked home to get lunch. Oh yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
I do that. I do trick like letterboxes. Why are we letterbox dropping here?
Yeah.
I was like, do you not think that's where my girlfriend lives? That's where my girlfriend lives. That's where my mother-in-law lives. I'll have you letterbox drop all my people in the first 6 months to make sure they're there.
Yeah.
And then I'll call and be like, hey, or you can put trackers on them now with their Apple Watch. I'm not there yet.
Know.
I'm close.
But it's because we've all been there, right? We've all been that associate that was like, it's 4:30. I'm just going to Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not really going to finish this. What's my boss going to know? I'll chuck it in the bin. And I do, like, I should have been fired 1,000 times. Actually, the Daily Mail, after that REA article went up, the Daily Mail picked it and there was a screamed grab that, like, was clickbait, obviously, that went out that was like, even she said she should have been fired. And I was like, oh, what are they saying? Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, it's just the article. It's clickbait. Okay. I'm not used to that.
I've gone into a listing presentation and my associates and Penelope can vouch this. I have literally walked in and said, a toddler can do this. Like, you need to, I don't think it is hard to be a real estate agent as far as to sell a property. I think it is hard to build a relationship with a client, know that they'll trust you, that you will do the work.
Yes.
Like if I do 1 to 10, the property should sell. Like these are steps. We're given very easy steps.
That's a process.
It's to promise that person that I'm going to do all those 10 steps and to, understand that the way I'm treating your properties, if it was my property, like if you're all in, it's fine. Like you could have been sleeping here because I know you probably the next day would have got up and done double or, it does even out.
I am the first to say that if I'd got serious about it sooner, I would be excited about where I could be now. Because I feel like the work that I've done in the last 5 years has got me to this point. I wish that I'd started doing that work sooner. That would be the advice. Like, don't wait. Just go.
For every woman, I guess, listening now who is stepping up, about to start her own business or is dreaming of starting her own business or becoming bigger, what's one message you could leave for her? Like what's one thing that if you're about to level up, what do you tell your agents that are about to kind of make that big step or get an associate or level up? What's your advice to them?
Look, I'm always right beside them every time, like when they are in that journey, we're usually pretty tight because I know how crucial it is and they need someone to, maybe not be accountable, but just to be their hype girl.
Yeah.
Like I think, like my son is horrendous at most sports. I'm really sorry if he hears this in years to come.
I don't know if he's listening to a podcast as Women Who Move. Your son probably, actually. I feel like your sons will be like very much at the kind of forefront.
Yeah, who knows? But I do, I really do like to encourage them to go hard or go home. And I think, what was your question?
I was saying about any woman who's looking to upscale, move, open. Basically, a lot of the women that I, that listen are going to open their own business.
Yes.
So what is the advice that you would give to a woman who is about to open her own business? But then I've also started getting feedback saying, well, grow my business or up, like any woman who's about to level up, what advice are you giving her in this market in 2026? Yeah. Not necessarily in real estate, in business itself.
In business. Yeah. Oh, look, it genuinely is. My advice is to just go all in. It is to burn the bridges because I do think that, like when you do that, you're like, get yourself a little girl gang.
Yes.
Get yourself a girl gang of people that will support you through thick and thin and not always just agree with you. Like, you don't need yes people.
You need a bit of pushback, yeah.
You need people that are going to be objective, that are always going to be in your corner, that will say incredible things about you when you're not there, that will have you back and that will, blindlessly push you, but also not let you off the hook, because
I like that they're not letting you off the hook. You've got to have someone who's going to keep you accountable.
100%. And it is going to be hard. It's not easy.
Yeah.
And there are going to be days when you want to quit and, you're going to doubt yourself, but that's just part of the ride. It's very much a case of, what are you doing this for?
So much of my notes, right, is about you coming back from the US and realising how small we play in Australia now. It's go big or go home, go hard or go home. There's everything that you're saying. I'm like, she said this, she said this, she said this. I actually really love that because I love that as I'm reading my next question, I'm like, she's already said that or she's done this. I want to finish with a bit of fun. I love a quick fire round.
Okay.
I like to ask you a whole lot of questions, really off the cuff, very quick, just one word answers, first thing that pops into your head.
Yeah.
What's your pump up song if you've got to go to, well, not necessarily a big listing presentation when you were an agent, but let's say you're about to recruit a really big agent, you're about to take them for coffee. What's your pump up hype song?
Unstoppable.
Oh, okay.
By Sia.
Yep.
Love that.
That's a really
little
good
power ballad. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
What's your coffee order? And how many a day are we having?
Oh, look, I'm still maybe 1.5 a day because I hardly ever get to finish a whole coffee, but I'm a long black 2 pieces of ice. I have a small window to drink that coffee, so it must be efficient.
Okay. What is your I can't believe that just happened moment in real estate? Is it the video that I was shown before?
Oh my God. Yes, that's exactly what it was. I was so blown away, and it was such a stitch up. Like AT and Jess had bought Nando's. So I literally had 3 chips in my mouth.
Hayley was announced the most influential woman in real estate, and they surprised her at a sales meeting, and I have the whole thing on video where realestate.com.au came in. It was just this beautiful event. You cried, it was really lovely, but you look completely shocked. Yeah, you are literally mid eating.
I had 3 chips in my mouth, and like a Nando's chip's substantial, right? We're not talking like a little Mac's chip.
Yeah.
So I was had a mouthful of food. I was like, oh my God! And then I started crying, and I was just jumping around. And then I saw they had a video. I was like, oh God.
You're like, it was all planned.
Yeah, I was like, well played, guys. But yeah, that was definitely my pinch me moment.
Yeah, it was a really big, and it was really lovely. The women that you went up against were some pretty big hitters, but to see you, I was so excited about that. As a woman in real estate, that you would have had my vote. It is lovely to see what you've done, and to someone who's followed your career. I get DM'd all the time about people I should have on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yours is to this day the biggest record of people that have DM'd me saying, when are you going to have it? And I was just trying to space out my real estate, because obviously real estate girl is my industry. So
yes.
I'm surrounded by a lot of great female agents, but yes, you were. There was way too many that I want to say. I'll show you who the person. Some of them had never met you.
Wow.
And were like, I've just seen her. I follow her on Instagram. She's a mate. I was like, okay, this is cool. All right, I'll get through this.
I'm gonna cry.
What is your secret talent or party trick?
This is on a quick round. What's my secret talent or party trick? I can roll my tongue.
Okay. That's a genetic thing, by the way.
Is it?
My daughters can do it. My husband can do it. I can't do it.
Well, I'm in the girl gang then.
Yeah, watch out. You get a call from Kindy.
Yeah.
Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
Yep. Non-negotiable daily habit that keeps you on track.
I'm a 9 to 5er, as in no. Do I look like a runner?
No, but suppose we were all going to get to this stage where we start running.
Oh, my knees will let go of me by then. But 9 to 5, as in I like to be asleep by 9, and I like to be awake at 5. So I'm I just non-negotiable. I'm such an old person.
Yeah.
I will literally smoke bomb from anything. If we're at a drinks or a networking
bomb.
Or something, and I'm like, oh, where's Vandy? And they'll turn around and they're like, where is she? Anyone that knows me is like, she's gone. It's 8:55, she's gone. And Jess actually saw me at the Remax Awards.
Yeah.
And she's like, what are you doing here? And I was like, I know, it's 2 a.m.
And
I
it's
should be
late.
asleep.
I can't.
Yeah.
No,
it was ridiculous.
I love it. So when I heard you speak, I was so far back because I was ready to I'm going to have my hors d'oeuvres, I'm going to have my 1 glass of Prosecco. They'll always give me 1 glass and I'm out. And I'm at the back and then I'm walking closer to listen. And by the time you finished, I was almost at the front. I'm like, excuse me, I think I pushed past Brad and Sherry Stowe. I was like, just let me get in here. And then then I couldn't get out because I was at the front.
Trapped.
Yeah, and there's like, oh, hi, extra. I'm like, oh, please get back. I'm always at the back.
Yeah.
My single Prosecco, being like, I'm here. And then I do love a smoke bomb.
Make yourself seen and then you're out.
Yes.
But yeah, no,
Because I'm tired.
Yeah, I'm old now, you know.
What is 40s. A binge? No, you're not. We're all going to be 39 forever. What's a binge-worthy show or podcast you're listening to?
Oh, it's a spin-off at the moment from Yellowstone. And you know the brother Casey?
Yes.
Yes, it's his spin-off. It's really,
Are you
really
binging
good.
it? Is it?
Yeah, I've been binging it and staying up to like 9:05.
Yeah.
No, I actually had one of the weekends where I literally just laid in bed, vegged out and watched it the whole time.
I love it.
During school holidays, my husband took the kids camping and I just did nothing. It was amazing.
Oh my God, I need to get my husband to do that.
Literally the best.
Who is your dream guest at a dinner table?
I would love to have my mum.
Yeah, sorry. That would be, that was
sorry
that's
to
the
end it on a sad note,
that is
yeah,
the
that
perfect.
Like,
that is the perfect answer.
Just one more time.
Yeah, and I love it. You didn't say a celebrity. You didn't say someone. It was someone that would, and yeah, I love that. I actually really love that. So we'll finish it up. And for every woman who's listening now, whether you're stepping up, dreaming bigger, starting out. Hayley is proof that you don't need a perfect plan. You just need the courage to start, the resilience to keep going, and the belief that bigger is always possible. Thank you so much for joining us on Women Who Move.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.